Hello everyone. Happy Wednesday. Now I am noticing that I'm 6 minutes late, and that is because I had tech problems and children problems. So if you're a mama, I know you know what I'm talking about. So forgive me. While I am waiting for some people to hop on, I'm going to do my normal, and I am going to share this into my group as I promised to my ladies in my Remarkable Women's group, which while I'm talking about that, if you have not joined this yet, then please do. If you are a woman and you're looking to make some changes today, if you are in your own way, you're feeling stuck, lost, unsure of how to get started, we are working on doing that right now, of creating some shift in your life. So the top of my page there where the cover photo is, there is the button, visit the group. Perfect way to be added into the group. So I'm just about to do this. I had made sure that I had my writings on the wall before I started this. And now I'm going to post. Perfect. Okay, one more thing is just to make sure that my sound is okay, because I noticed that the last time I did this, my sound started off a little rough. I was waiting to hopefully have some people pop on. If not, I did pick a middle of the time day that, middle of the day time that I was waiting to hopefully have some people pop on. If not, sound is good. Sound check good. So yeah, I did pick a kind of crummy time of the day for those that are working. If you're at home like a mommy like me, I choose to work from home. And I do have the odd disruption of my child in my background, but that's okay because I love her and I'm a mommy and I like to have her in my presence. She's good energy for me. If you see me looking down once in a while, it's because I have taken some questions, because I've not only had some questions from people messaging me privately, but also some questions that are kind of ongoing that I have taken note of that I just wanted to make sure I covered. So if you see me looking down, it's because I want to make sure that I cover all the questions. They are not on my computer. I have pulled them off. So I've got them here. The other thing I wanted to touch base on is, which I am going to right now in the comments below, I am going to put my website. Because for those of you that have not had a chance to catch Monday's training, which if you haven't, I suggest you do. It's really great, excuse me, for getting started with EFT. But what I'm going to do is, sorry, I'm still getting over this cold and it's really, really frustrating, but we've all been there, right? I'm going to put in the comments below my website, because we are talking about EFT. And with EFT, so I pinned the link to my website in the comments below. You just throw your name and your email in, and you'll receive some PDFs. There are some videos that go along with everything I've been talking about from Monday and today. But not only that, there's also a specific video on tapping on overwhelm that literally will calm yourself from overwhelm. You're in that, like, there's just too much going on. I need to slow down and I don't know how. It's only a few minutes that you can just tap and follow along, and it will help you calm down. I teach you how to do it, which we've discussed, and I'll go over the points again. But I teach you that as well in some of the videos, so then that way you know what you're doing the best that you can, and all you have to do is follow along. And I teach you how to rate it and reevaluate. So if you still have a quite high intense number, which you will understand better if you recap the videos or get my freebie, then you will be able to tap again, just follow along again until your number gets quite low. But there is this free PDF that will come to you, and it is all on the tapping points, which I'm going to talk about the tapping points a little bit more in detail today, because there have still been some questions. One of the things that happens to us when we're just starting our self-help journey, we're used to being in kind of a negative mindset, negative mind frame, and we tend to get in this thought of needing to do things perfect. So why do I bring this up to you is because we get trapped. We get trapped in needing to do things perfectly. And one of the things EFT could do is help you to actually get out of that cycle as well. So if you find yourself constantly feeling like you can't do XYZ until this is done, or this has got to be perfect before I can release this. This has to be perfect before I can go do that thing. Or if I don't start on the perfect day, then I can't start. So I messed up. So you're like an all or nothing kind of thinking. I was like the queen of this. I still catch myself in that trap once in a while, but EFT can really help you release that and relieve that. So I'm not going to get into all that because we can get going in more of the stuff in detail, especially if you join my Remarkable Women's group. If you get stuck in that kind of a cycle, you can share that in the comments and say, can I get more help with this? But I'd love to be able to help you in the group, because then that way we can talk a little bit more intimately versus the whole world of Facebook seeing you. That way other people that are in that group, other women that are in that group, can benefit from something that you're struggling with, because I guarantee a part of them is also struggling with it. We are very similar. The PDFs that also come are also going to pertain to next week. There's the Wheel of Life to explain to you a little bit about that, and that also explains in detail in the videos. And these are some worksheets to work through getting some affirmations straight. I know you're probably going to think, ugh, the affirmations, I hear about this all the time. Please understand that the affirmations are a fantastic way to start creating shift and changes in your life, not to mention rewiring that beautiful subconscious mind that has been imprinted by many negative thoughts over the time. Hello, Christine. Thank you for being here. We're just getting started, so I haven't really gone through too much. I was just kind of recapping and letting everybody know about Monday's video if they haven't seen it, and also to go grab their freebies from my website, because they're going to pertain to all of this stuff that we're talking about today, as well as what's going to be happening next week. If at all, at any time in the video, my daughter in the background is too loud and you can hear too much background noise, please do let me know, and I will solve that problem. Thank you for the hearts. I'm being showered with hearts. I love hearts. Okay, so like I mentioned at the beginning, if you have not grabbed that freebie, comments, I have pinned the link to my website to go grab that. Make sure you do that, but don't do that now, because I don't want to see you disappear from this video right now. I want to make sure that I answer some questions and give you that bonus that I was talking about. So, some of the questions I am going to be looking... One second, please. Dallas, honey. Hey. Dallas. Sorry. Great. Hey, can you just watch your show, please? Thank you. Real life. What? Yeah, talk about it. And she's probably going to keep playing in the background, making noise, because she loves to sing, so I can't really stop singing. Who wants to stop singing, really? Come on. Okay, so seeing as we're just getting started anyways, she really hasn't interrupted too much, other than you had to see me pause for a second. So, okay. So I'm going to be looking at some notes, because I have gathered some questions that I've received from people over and over time again, as well as people that have reached out to me personally. And if you have any questions at all during this, please do put in the comments. And even if you're on the replay, hello to you as well. And just put your comments in the replay, and I will definitely either do another live, or I will just address them to you if it's a simple question for you, which most are, because I want everybody to know that, as we talked about on Monday, you don't have to believe in EFT to be able to, for it to work. You don't have to believe in it. And in terms of doing it correctly, really just follow the steps that I'm talking about. You can't mess this up. You can't. Tap and drive on. Tap and drive on. While I'm on the topic of that, if one taps on the acupressure points that we discussed, which are the side of the eye, all the 8 points, which we'll go over again, when you're tapping on these acupressure points while talking about the issue or the problem or the pain, it will relieve emotional and physical discomfort. EFT at its simplest. I always keep saying I'm not going to talk about the detail, but I know there's so many people that would like the detail. That's as much as you need to know. Really. There's so much more detail and so much more we can talk about, but I don't want to get too kind of all over the board. So to just go back over the 5 key steps to EFT, it's to define the issue. So what is the problem? So today I'm doing a bonus exercise on constricted breathing. So if you ever find yourself like having a difficult time catching your breath, this is what this bonus exercise is going to be about. So let's just stick to that theme today. I think that's probably a great one. So if you ever suffer from anxiety, panic, overwhelm, you're familiar with your breathing isn't exactly as open and relieved as you would like it to be. So we're going to focus on that today. So this issue, for an example, would be my breathing is not 100%, because we will be rating it on a 0 to 100% scale. So if you take a nice big deep breath and you let it out and you're like, okay, I really couldn't take a full breath. I'm only 80% out of 100. You can improve that, because we want to get to 100 or more. Even if you were like, oh, I'm 100, then fine, drive on and test for 120%, because you can always get more air. The second thing is to rate the intensity, which I just discussed about. And when we're doing the constricted breathing exercise, we're going to do it out of a percentage versus 0 to 10. Don't get confused by it. I'm just doing that. If you really want to make it simple, pretend 10% is 100%. It's really not difficult, I promise. So, and then after that, you say your setup statement. So like we discussed on Monday, even though the problem is my breathing isn't the way I'd like it to be, I love and accept myself exactly where I am right now, or I accept myself as I am now. Whatever works for you, we want to make sure it resonates with you. Even if you're looking to try and push past that, right now we want it to resonate with you. Liz says, hey, I'll be in and out for a bit, but I'll catch the replay. No problemo. What you do benefits you. So I didn't plan to rhyme that. I did not plan to rhyme that. I am sorry. That was cheesy, but it's true. So let's just say, even though I'm not breathing to my full capacity, I deeply and completely accept myself. That would be your setup statement. So the next part is the tapping sequence. So as everybody knows, the setup statement is done 3 times on the side of the hand. So you tap on the side of the hand. And you do that 3 times. Even though I'm not breathing my full capacity, I deeply and completely accept myself. We can use that one because it's in case you're struggling with loving yourself, then this is a little bit easier to say. So you do that 3 times, and then you would tap on those points, just going around about this constricted breathing. Not breathing to my full capacity. This constricted breathing. And so on. So we'll go over that again. Afterwards, the 5th step is to reevaluate where you are. So once we've done that round, we're going to check in, take a nice big deep breath, and we're going to say 0 to 10. We're going to repeat that statement, I'm not breathing to my full capacity. And when you take that nice big deep breath in, you can rate yourself on 0 to 100 again, and hopefully you're at 100 or maybe better. So that's the 5 steps. Define the issue, rate the intensity of the issue. So the setup statement is your next part. The tapping sequence, reevaluate. If that sounds like, holy shit, that's a lot of work, I promise you that once you've practiced this, it's not. It is super quick, super simple, and super effective. You want change and shift really quickly. There's someone in here that I know knows this right now. Shower me with your hearts, because I know you know what I'm talking about. Christine is very familiar with EFT, and it works, and we know it works. So one of the questions is, there we go. See? Yeah. She knows what I'm talking about. And many of my clients would be able to back me up on that. I just don't happen to see them on live right now, but she knows it works. So that's fantastic. Thank you for agreeing and sharing with the world, because EFT is beautiful and it really does create a lot of emotional freedom. That's why it's called emotional freedom techniques. It's beautiful. So one of the questions that commonly is asked is, does it matter which side I tap on? Because you might see that I start and I tap here. I always tend to tap here first. So no, your tapping, the acupressure points mirror each other on, well, either there's only one point here and here, but on your collarbone is mirroring itself, under your arms is mirroring itself, anywhere on the eyebrow, side of the eye, or under the eye is mirroring itself. And then the top of the head, under the nose and chin are commonly just like, obviously they're just the one point. But I'm right-handed, so I'm dominant on my right hand, and I just tend to feel more comfortable doing it with my right hand. But if I was injured, it does not mean that I cannot tap. It means that I would just use my left hand, and I'd have to push through that discomfort. It just wouldn't be as more natural to me, but it still works. The other thing some people will find more effective, because to them it's like, I just feel like I'm not doing it enough, is some people will tap with 2 hands. Just like this. And even 2 hands here, because you're still hitting the point under your nose. Right? Under your chin, collarbone. I won't do that too much because my mic's on. Under the arm, top of the head. If that works for you, there is no wrong. But it doesn't matter which hand you use. While we're talking about hands, I tend to use my pointer and middle finger because they just reach those points perfectly. It covers that section absolutely perfect. So that's what you do. The other thing while we're talking about the actual tapping is it's good to tap on this point more than a few times. Like, you don't just say, this feeling, this feeling, this feeling, this feeling. You can if you're looking for a quick, like if you're really practiced and conditioned with EFT, you can do that. But for now, because you're new and you're getting started, I ask that you tap anywhere from 5 to 10 times, whatever you can try to do, because we want you to work through this. Something is better than nothing, but at least 5 times on that point while you're saying this, like this constrictive breathing. This constrictive breathing. I'm not breathing at my full capacity. This constrictive breathing. And you can see how I was tapping more than a few times on that point. If you're just hopping on, shower me some with hearts or likes or thumbs up just so I know you're here. You don't have to say anything, although if you do have anything that comes up and you feel brave enough to just say, hey, I have this issue, how could I work on this? If you need some help with setting up some setup statements, I'd be happy to help create that, because it doesn't have to be complicated, and I want to show you how simple it can be. As you get more I'll say graduated with EFT, more involved with it, and you start to see the process and change, it will help you grow. You will shift a lot faster, and you will start to feel more confident and comfortable going even deeper with that. Liz, I see your comment just came up, and I can't fully read it on my phone, so I'm just going to pull it up in the group, so if everybody sees me looking down, that is why. What just happened? Oh, technology. I was going to ask how many times in each should we tap. Perfect. So I answered your question. Woot woot. It's 5 to 10 times is what I recommend, because right now, especially because you're just starting, I want you to make sure you're really focusing. It gives you time to just tap, learn the points, learn how to be in that moment. And when I'm saying this constrictive breathing, I'm not just tapping and just saying it. I'm focusing on that constrictive breathing. I might even be focusing on that level of intensity. It's only 80%, this constrictive breathing. And I'm talking about it, but also trying to be focusing on the emotional, because where you're going to really have the success is when you become very specific about it. And right now, specific to you is going to look like really feeling what that problem is, really like allowing yourself to be in that moment and focusing on the emotional issue or the physical issue while tapping. But if you're not thinking about how do I tap, when do I switch? You know what I mean? You can think about that emotion. You can think about the problem. You can tap on it and say it without being rushed to move to the next point to then say the next part. Okay? So the basic recipe, which we also call in our practitioner side of things bronze level tapping. So the basic recipe is basically what I showed you. If you grab that freebie that I mentioned to you, it just shows you the points, and even though it looks like it's all on one side on her, again, you can tap on either side, no problem. But what I wanted to say about that was the basic recipe is side of the hand is your setup statement, which you repeat 3 times. Then it's the 8 points starting at the eyebrow point, side of the eye, under the nose, under the chin, on the collarbone, under the arm, and then top of the head. Those are your 8 points, and that is considered the basic recipe of EFT. So there are other points, but this is what I've used for years personally, and then even when I became a practitioner, it is your go-to. There's no point of complicating it, trying to figure it out. This shit works. This is the way it works. It is simple. It is easy. And when you start to implement this, and if I can get you to try and practice this daily, you will get to a point eventually, like after about 6 months, it was so much easier for me. And then I started doing it daily even more so. I beat the resistance that I was up against, because I was resistant to it very much so for a very long time. But then after about a year's time, it was to the point where I was almost like I could think about the problem and the issue and shit would just shift. It was phenomenal. Now, saying that, I still wanted to do more in-depth work, so I would take it home or take it to wherever I could privately work on stuff, and then I would go deeper with it, which, don't worry about going deeper. We'll learn that as we go along and as you get to know me better. So, that was the 8 points basic recipe. If there's any questions so far, whether you're live or on the replay, go ahead and post them. I will not miss them because this is super powerful, super important, and beneficial for you. I wouldn't be sharing this and spending time doing this with you if I didn't know that this does stuff. This works. There is no question. If you are feeling stuck, lost, unsure of where to start, I am promising you this is one of the best places to start. And I'm pretty sure there are also people that can agree with this that are watching this right now. Go ahead and shower me with some hearts. Okay, so back to the recipe. Excuse me. As I mentioned, when you're doing the tapping sequence, remember to try 5 to 10 times at least on each point, okay? What's another question? So after you do that, you do at least three rounds. And I mean 3 rounds of tapping on all 8 points. If you can go to 5 rounds, that's going to be a challenge for the first time because you're not believing that this shit works. I want you to try and go at least 5 rounds. At least. If you can go to 7 or 8 rounds, fine. But if you're only going to do 5 rounds, that's okay. Take a nice big deep breath and reevaluate. And what that means is when we do this constricted breathing today, we're doing it on 0 to 100% capacity. So you're just picturing filling up like your lungs as a balloon, and you're going to be like, how full am I filling that space? And then we're going to rate that 0 to 100%. But our normal evaluation is looking at the level of intensity from 0 to 10. So if it's a 9, then if we've done a full round of 5 rounds on the 8 points, this is sounding confusing, and I promise you it's not. If you take a nice big deep breath and you re-say that statement to yourself, like this anxiety, and you feel like, I'm still a 7, repeat, because we want to get that number to anywhere from a 2 to a 0. If you can get it to a 0, you're laughing. But just make sure you're at least tapping to get it to a 2. If you can get it lower, that's fantastic, but at least to a 2. The next question that tends to pop up is, when I'm tapping, I start to think about other things, or something that just seems really weird pops into my mind, or a time when kind of came into my space. It reminded me of X time. Please do not ignore these things. Have a book beside you when you tap and write down what it is. And if you can remember, rate the level of intensity that it is in your body 0 to 10. Don't complicate it, just do that. The other thing I can also ask that you do is a body association. When you say something, when you repeat that event or that experience, if something comes up that's just like, oh my gosh, and you rate it 0 to 10, do you feel it in your body anywhere? Don't question it, just write it down. So write down what it was, 0 to 10 intensity, and then, excuse me, and then if you felt it in your body anywhere, then just close the book or just pretend it's not there. Continue with what you're going on, because at least you've acknowledged the problem, but continue with what you're going on. Do your tapping rounds. If you're like, now I feel 0 to what I was working on, but that's really bothering me, then go ahead and work on that. One moment, please. Dallas. Quiet, honey. I'm sorry. Just a little longer, okay? Real life? What? We'll see how long that lasts. Started off just like that too. So, okay. So does that make sense, everybody? Make sense? We're good so far? Really honestly reiterating, please do note those things that come up. That's what I was getting to, is that if you're like, this problem doesn't bother me anymore, now that's really bothering me, then maybe that would be a good time, if you feel confident enough to do it. Now that you understand tapping, please do tap on that, because we want to lower the level of intensity. Okay? Thank you for confirming that makes sense and that I'm not all over the place here. because I'm trying to make sure I get through all these questions without talking too long. So I've talked about, it doesn't matter which hand, doesn't matter which side you tap on. You do not, this is the other thing I get asked, because, and I'm going to lead into a bit of a story here. Something that was asked to me was, what if I have a headache or I suffer from headaches, or I'm just very sensitive and I don't want to tap on my face? So here's a quick story. I remember canceling a session with my practitioner before I even became my own practitioner. And I canceled because I had a disgusting, like a painful, wanting to vomit, couldn't see anything. I used to suffer from such bad auric kind of migraines where I literally had extreme tunnel vision. And the pain was so bad it would knock me out. So I couldn't drive, and I was home on my own that day. So I was like, I'm sorry, I just cannot make it. So I had to cancel last minute. What she said to me afterwards, she followed up by an email and said, if you can do me a favor, the next time this happens, please try to find someone who can drive you for that appointment, no matter how you feel. And I was comfortable enough with her that I was like, okay, if I got sick, she wouldn't penalize me. She wouldn't think I was bad, wrong, or whatever. So I was like, really? Okay, well, I'll do my best. Sure enough, like whenever it was, I ended up having another migraine, and I had somebody who could drive me there. They dropped me off, and I went into my session within 20 minutes of tapping, and they were like light tapping. You do not have to tap hard, and this is why I'm talking about this, because the migraines I suffered from were very, very painful. Very painful. So you can literally see I'm just gently tapping. The other thing you can do is massage. Oddly enough, I kept tapping. I was tapping more gentle, but I kept tapping. But within 15-20 minutes of focusing on, even though I have this migraine, I love and accept myself exactly as I am. Even though I have this migraine, I love and accept myself exactly as I am. And obviously you do that 3 times. And it was just literally like this migraine. These symptoms associated with this migraine. I feel so sick. I cannot see. The pain is way too much. And I'm doing this faster than we would have been. This migraine, the pain I'm suffering from this migraine, it debilitates me. The stuff that came up with this was pretty incredible, but the best part was that I could open my eyes after this and I was like, I can see you now. Like, it's still very like sensitive, eye sensitive, but I can see you. So it was a huge success. And that is when I truly learned, even though I had heard about it, that is when I had truly learned that EFT can help resolve physical discomfort, not just emotional. Super important. There's absolutely no excuses to not tap when you have a migraine or you're just not feeling good. I see your question, Christine. She said, is it also possible to tap on points on your hands to do EFT in public? I may just hop to that question right now because I actually had another question from Liz a little while ago that said, you know, I'd love to be doing this while I'm driving, but I can't do it when I've got my daughter in the car and I'm driving. It's not safe. So totally understandable. So you don't have to tap on every single point. There's a few things we can go over here. I'm going to readjust myself here. So one thing is, sometimes you can literally just sit there like this and make it look like you're just thinking and just gently rub. Super simple, right? Yep. Doesn't look like I'm doing anything. I'm just like, oh. And I've seen way worse thing in public transportation, so you're safe. The other thing is literally like you could be like, you could do this. You could start with this and just do this for a bit because it just looks like you have a headache, right? Hey man, I got a headache. Just leave me be. Ugh. You don't have to do these ones, but I just showed you a transition there. The other thing is you could literally rub your collarbone because that's also a point that most people, like when they're stressed out, like they might be just like kind of with their eyes closed and doing this. So before I get onto the hand points, because you did mention points on the hands, I will explain the points on the hands as well. But so the intention that you're setting while you are doing these points. So when you're driving, Liz, like, do you drive with both hands all the time? Like, I know that sounds really bad to ask because we're supposed to, but like, if you sat there with your hand on the, you know, your elbow on the side of the car and your fingers on your steering, like, you know what I mean? Like on your chin, and then you got your other hand on the steering wheel. There's that. Or there's also taking this point of your hand, even though it's the setup statement, literally just tap it on your leg. Like, so I'm doing, if this is my leg, I'm just tapping it on my leg like this. And if you're driving, nobody really sees that. Like, you can barely see my shoulder moving, which is a good thing. So we'll leave it at that. Anyways, so you can see how you cannot see that, right? Thumbs up if you can't see that. That's amazing. Thumbs up. Do it. I love it. And I love that you caught what that was. I know you caught what that was. Anyways, I'm human. I have jokes too, man. So good. So the side of the hand is a really good one. You could just kind of rub your chest. So you can do that in a doctor's appointment if you had anxiety because you're sitting there waiting for an appointment that you really don't want to be there for, or you're not sure what you're going to be doing. Yes. Okay, well, we're going to leave that alone. I know you caught that. So, perfect. So, you can see how simple that is. Sorry, excuse me. Does that answer your question? Some water. Does that answer your question? Do you feel better about the idea of that? Say yes in the comments if you agree that was a lot easier. Please. And then we're going to move on to the hand points. Okay? So, you got to make these trainings fun too, right? Like, they don't have to be so serious. Heish. Which I just saw the time, and I'm supposed to be in my group, and I don't think anybody's really in my group today, so I might be a little late. But this is streaming into my group as well, so that at least they're still getting some benefit there. So, you enjoy my comedy. Thank you. I am a funny gal when I want to be. Sometimes not so funny, but I like to try. Effort is all that I need. So the hand points that Christine was mentioning, she asked, is it something that we can do? So I was trying to read. I'll go in when I go to, Starbucks. Is that what that is? Okay. So the points that she was talking about on your hands, she had mentioned, can I do these in public? And that's a great question. You can. So you've got two hands. You can pick whichever one whichever one you're working on, right? So I'm dominant, so I like to tap with my right hand. So this being your left hand, because it could be backwards to you, whichever works best for you. You cannot do this wrong. Now there's a point on your ring finger that they like you to tap on both points. So it's okay if you cannot because you're in public, because the key thing to whatever I just showed you before about rubbing your chin or the side of your eye or on your collarbone is that you are setting the intention. So even though you're rubbing your collarbone, you're setting the intention that while you're doing that, you're visualizing tapping eyebrow point, side of the eye, under the nose, on the chin, collarbone, under the arm, top of the head. You're visualizing that because you're setting the intention that you are tapping. That's the key point. Same thing with the hand. So all this is if you're on the bus, you don't want people to see, and you can do this while you're driving too, Liz, tap on the top. So you're using the outside of your thumb. Does this make sense? Tap on the top of your finger, move to the next. Consider doing 5 to 7 each, just like you do on your head. And then on this one, if you can, bring the pinky and push pressure top and bottom on your ring finger, okay? And then top of your pinky finger. Then repeat. It's weird watching myself on the camera, make sure I get it. Does this make sense? Makes sense. Okay, so I did miss it there, and it's okay. It's not going to change it because you're setting the intention that you are tapping Right now I am tapping for the highest of my good. I have some anxiety. I have this pain. This person beside me on the public transit is really annoying me. I don't know why it's triggering me, but it's bothering me. This looks like you're doing something. People fidget all the time. So, and especially if it's wintertime and you got mittens on, like, well, you could just take your thumb out and do it inside the glove. I don't know. Whatever works for you, but that's a super simple way to do it. It's not going to change the process. And then when you go home, spend some time really working on lowering the intensity. You're not focusing when you're in the car about like doing the setup statements and all the other like the comments and stuff. You're focusing on that, whatever the issue is, like this anxiety or this nervousness or this uncomfortable feeling. You're not trying to discover what it's about, how to deal with it. You're just tapping, because tapping calms the nervous system. So you're just tapping to nourish and take care of yourself in that moment. Good? Okay. Just a couple more things I want to talk about, and then we're going to do that constrictive breathing exercise because I've taken enough of your time. Christine says that I had heard of it, but I wanted to see how it was actually done, the hand tapping for in public situations. Super simple, right? Glad I could help. You're very welcome. I want to mention to drink lots of water. When you tap, which I even notice now because of like me talking about it, I'm focusing on so much about EFT. EFT is energy work. It's all about shifting energy from your energy pathways, your meridian points. So you're shifting energy. Anybody that understands energy work knows that you need to stay hydrated. So you need to drink. Bad timing for a phone call. Bad timing. Bad person, whoever called me, and I didn't recognize the number. Pretty sure it was a telemarketer because they found my cell phone now. Anyways, so water. Big deal. You need to drink water. You can become very imbalanced. Exactly. So just like energy pathways, if you don't believe me about energy work because you're new to this stuff, understand this. Biologically, energy moves through us, just like our blood, right? So if we have these energy pathways, if they get clogged, which emotional energy is basically like a clog in the drain, if you don't keep your fluids going, it can get stuck, which creates an imbalance, like Christine had mentioned, right? We don't want to do that. So please make sure you drink lots of water. So water, water, water. It is very safe to tap and talk about negative stuff. So when we're setting up the statement, we always start with the negative, but then we always follow it by a positive, that you love and accept yourself, or that you completely accept where you are. You're always saying that positive. But when you're tapping about the negative, like this pain I have, or this anxiety, you are emotionally focusing on that, but you're tapping, which is putting the acupressure to the pain, to the problem, to the issue. You're creating the energetic shift. The tapping is what creates the safety. It's what eases the discomfort. And while focusing on that negative, you are focusing on creating a new imprint of positivity and creating the comfort and the emotional freedom that you are seeking. So please know it is safe. You don't need anything else. You don't need to buy anything. It's all right there for you. So keep yourself hydrated. And the last thing I'm going to say is tap daily. Make it a practice, please. Okay? So don't get discouraged. Keep going. Be gentle with yourself, and please keep growing. When you get uncomfortable, it's your opportunity to grow. So tapping will help you shift out of that negative space to start creating some safety. So your bonus today is a script. Well, sorry, it's not a script. It's a practice. And it's on constricted breathing. So anybody that has suffered from anxiety, totally know. No worries, you came back. Thank you for supporting me through this whole thing. By the way, if anybody's catching the replay, if anybody has a feeling that this might be something that would benefit someone, you do not have to share it to their page. You can share it to their messenger. So then that way it's not on their public page, their public personal page. Because then that way they're not feeling like, oh man, you're telling the world that you know I have a problem. And we don't have, and when I say problems, I say it very delicately and lightly because we all have stuff going on in our life, right? So first thing is to be willing to own that we might have something we might need help with. So that's all that's about. So Anyways, so constricted breathing. Anybody that has ever suffered from anxiety, which I suffered for a long time, long before I became a coach. And there's times where even I'm confused whether or not I'm excited or I have anxiety about something. And I tap and it shifts and it goes away. So we can do certain exercises to tap on that. But today I want to focus on actual constricted breathing. So I want you right now to do this exercise with me. Take a nice big deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. 0 to 100. Put your number in the comments below. 100 being full capacity. Where are you at? How full did you feel you could take that breath in and release it? How freeing did that feel? 0 to 100%. I'm going to honestly say I'm probably about an 80 because I've had a lot going on and I probably haven't slowed down a lot today. 79. That's a good number. It's funny that I was 80. So we're on the same page. So anybody else, comments, please put in the comments below, even if this is in the replay, that's okay. I'm watching because I want to see that it shifts for you. So at the end, we're going to reassess. But for now, what I'd like you to do is our setup statement is going to be, even though I'm not breathing to my full capacity, I deeply and completely accept myself. So this is a fantastic exercise then for you to be doing. Christine says that she's under some stress, so constricted breathing is an issue. So that's great. This is an amazing exercise. And I know everybody can benefit from this. Doesn't matter if you're a practitioner, a coach, psychologist, whatever tag you got, it's fine. Everybody needs to stop and take a breath once in a while, and I can promise you that we don't take it enough. So this is a really good exercise for you, especially if you're in the middle of an anxiety and you feel like you can't breathe. This one will help you bring it down. So if everybody can feel comfortable saying, I deeply and completely accept myself, the reason I keep looking is to remind myself that this is the one I wanted to choose for everybody, because some of us cannot say freely and comfortably knowing that we love and accept ourselves completely. So that was the one that I usually say, even though I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself anyways, or I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself, however that is. I don't want to say that if it's not going to work for you. So I deeply and completely accept myself. If that does not resonate with you, please say something positive close to that. I'm willing to accept myself, if that works. Okay? So, setup statement. I'm going to get up here so you can see my hand a little better. So, do this with me. Even though I'm not breathing to my full capacity, I deeply and profoundly accept myself. I was going to say it again. That's why I had to look. Even though I'm not breathing to my full capacity, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I'm not breathing to my full capacity, I am learning to accept myself. Very nice. Thank you for that. Now, onto the eyebrow point. Not breathing to my full capacity. And then in this one, fill in your number. I'm about an 80 of capacity to breathing to my full capacity. Under the eye. I'm not breathing to my full capacity. Under the nose, I feel like I can't breathe the way that I freely should. On the chin, I'm not breathing to my full capacity. On the collarbone, this constrictive breathing. I actually just took a breath there. And that's normal that if you start to breathe or yawn or burp or whatever else you got to express yourself. Mine is usually yawning, but I just definitely took a bigger breath there. Under the arm, I'm not breathing to my full capacity. Top of the head, I feel like I can't breathe my full capacity. Eyebrow point. This constrictive breathing. I feel like I can't breathe to my full capacity. This constrictive breathing. I'm not breathing to my full capacity. This constrictive breathing. Here it comes. I'm not going to hide my yawn because I'm owning it. That is my release. On the collarbone. This constrictive breathing. I'm not breathing to my full capacity. I'm not breathing to my full capacity. Take a nice big deep breath. Now, where are you at now? I honestly think I'm about a 98. And it's interesting how I'm not a perfect number. I'm about a 98. So I increased by 18%. It's pretty awesome. Woot woot! And you followed along. Yeah. So Christine said she's up to a 92. So that's amazing. So you can see that it shifts. It does. And the reason why I wanted to so badly take you into even deeper stuff, but I didn't want to take you there because if you're new to tapping, I don't want you to run off. I want you to see how simple it is. We didn't talk about a lot of words. We talked about the problem and we repeated it and repeated it and repeated it. And I think we did 3 rounds. I think it was per 3 rounds. Now I could do it longer, but I don't want to keep everybody too long because all you have to do is if you're still not close to 100, just repeat it. Do the exact same thing again. And this time just use your setup statement that says, actually, no. Yeah, no, sorry. You want to do it again. So you can just say the exact same setup statement. You're just going to say, even though I still have some constrictive breathing, because you're acknowledging that it's still there. Even though I still have this constrictive breathing, I deeply and completely accept myself, or I am learning to accept myself. Thank you for sharing that one. That's a good one, because that's the thing. You can see there's people that are still working on themselves, and there's things that they know either resonated with them before when they were just starting their journey or resonates for them today. So by sharing, we all help and learn and grow. So this is why I'm trying to get people engaging in this, because everybody has something that they can help themselves with. Grab some water if you haven't had some water. Now I yawned because that is a proof and sign that I was shedding some emotional release. So I was able to, that was my body saying that it resonated and that it's opening up. Please, Dallas, just a little longer. So that is your bonus, constrictive breathing. Imagine when you're having a hard time breathing, how you can just focus on that moment and just tap through it and how that changes. You saw that myself and someone else here live today did this with me, and it shifted. What did that take us? 5 minutes? It's beautiful. So share this with anybody that you think could use this. As I mentioned, you can share it to their messenger just so it's not on their direct page. Because some people really don't want the world to be announced to the world that they have something going on for them that even feels slightly like an issue, because sometimes an issue to someone feels like their world is crashing or that they're bad or wrong or different, and you're not. We are so human, and these things happen to us all the time. Things have happened in our lives that have triggered parts of our subconscious mind to imprint that we aren't safe. And when we feel we aren't safe, we feel we're not perfect. And then we think we have to do things perfect to be viewed and seen in the world as perfect. And I could go on and on and on. Please don't. Please just do some work and help yourself. And EFT is one of the best ways to get going on that. Christine shares that she feels that she's very overwhelmed, and I'm behind and just starting here right now because this is where I'm at. Helped tremendously. Perfect. And that is the thing. If this ever happens again and you have any questions about something, thank you for sharing that. And just as she just shared that now, how that helped her now in this moment, that if you ever have something like that, and if you feel that you just don't want to say it on my business page, please join my Remarkable Women's group. You just click the visit group button under the cover photo on my business page, and it will get you to my group, and I will accept you in. That just gives us an opportunity to talk about these problems more in depth. If you have something that's really burning an issue, and you just don't want the whole world of Facebook to know, there's people in this group that are going to benefit and grow because of your questions that you're asking. So please do join the group. It really is beneficial. Thank you. I won't repeat that. People can see that. But thank you very, very much. And you can see that someone's validating that there is benefit to the work that we do here. And I'm sharing it with you because I want to see some change. So if you're just hopping on now, I'm sorry that we missed you. Please do catch the replay. Say hello still, because I'm still here. You can say hello. I see somebody popped on, but I don't know who you are if you don't say anything. Or shed me a like or a heart so I know who you are. I'm going to hop on into my group right now. So if you are new and you would like more of this, then you can hop into the group, and I'm going to go chitter chatter in there about similar stuff, but not too long, because this has been streaming into the group. So they're all up to date on a lot of the questions that they had as well. So if you have any more and you want some more personal conversation, hop into that group, click the visit button, the visit group button at the top of the page under the cover photo, and I will accept you in. If you're a woman, you need to be a woman. Thank you. EFT is pretty amazing. And don't think that this group is only just about EFT. I'm a transformational life coach, and I've got other things under my pocket or in my toolkit, whatever you want to call. But the stuff that I have to help you with is intensified by combining EFT. So it is one of the best tools that I can provide to you. But there are so many other things that we talk about. This is just us getting started, because next week we're going to be talking about how we can amp up our affirmations by using the combination of affirmations and EFT. So you really do want to catch up on this stuff and get interacting. And if you join our group, we can get way more intimate on the getting clear of what you do want in your life, and we can shift guilt or shame or frustrations or irritations or anger or whatever it is that holds you back now. And I encourage journaling. Yes, journaling is very good. Christine's saying that journaling is very big for her, and it really does. It helps you get clear, and that's great. People can get clear by doing that. And then if you're feeling blocked from living out whatever it is you got to do to get there, EFT will help you in that way, right? Because we're rewiring, reprogramming that negative chitter chatter in our head. So I just got called out by Christine. And she said, even though I don't want to say that I'm amazing, I deeply love and accept myself, because I wasn't going to repeat the statement that she said about me, because she said that join the group, Jessica is amazing, is what she wrote. So I was like, I'm not going to say that back. So she's calling me out on it. So even though I don't want to say that I'm amazing, I love and accept myself anyways. You got me. Points for you. All right. On that note, thank you so much for joining me today. Please know that this was long because I'm teaching you something, and that this is super beneficial. There's so much more conversation that we can have in depth if we start growing in the group Remarkable Women. Visit group button is just under the cover photo. Grab your freebies. My link is pinned at the post in the comments in here. That gives you the opportunity to go to my website, scroll down to the bottom, grab that freebie so you can get your PDFs. There's tons of stuff in there that helps you. There's PDFs. And then there's videos also to talk more about and get more. There's an overwhelm video that you can follow along in there as well, specifically on overwhelm. And then tapping. And then it also briefs down on the talk of affirmations. But next week we are going to amp that stuff up by incorporating on not knocking our phone over. And I promise that I'm working on my space upstairs. That is going to give me a more sturdy phone situation for a camera. I think it's happened every day. So even though my camera keeps falling over, I love and accept myself no matter what. Thank you so much for joining, everybody. I am so blessed to have you guys here, and I'm enjoying being able to do these trainings and seeing that they are creating shift and change for people. So I really enjoy that you will join me on this journey. And if you have any more questions, I'm going to be back Friday to address them. I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do to end the weekend, but I was going to do some tapping for people. So if you have anything you'd like me to tap about, now would be a great time to let me know. And I'll create, well, I don't need to create it. I'm good in the moment, man. I'm good in the moment because that's my job. It's what I do. I have a hard time calling what I do a job too, by the way, because I love what I do and I love my clients. So it's very frustrating when people are like, what's your job? It's like, nah, it's not a job. It's my life. It's my life. Anyways, off topic. I will be happy to do some tapping specifically to issues. And if you would rather me not call out who you are, that's fine. You can private message me, and I will I will just do a tapping script for you that will help you and you can follow along, but it will also benefit other people. It's called borrowing the benefits. And if you did not know, when you join my group, Remarkable Women, I think I'm probably going to do it in another week's time after this. So next week, we're going to do the affirmation part of it. The week after, I'm going to start taking signups for doing a group coaching call. So what that'll look like is everybody hops on. I'm going to take up to 15 to 20 women, and I'm going to do a group call. And what we're going to do is we're going to work through problems that people are having, pains that people are having. We're going to get more specific, and we're going to even do group tapping on focusing on what's going on. So if you're camera shy, if you're you got something going on in your life that's making you feel uneasy, you're just feeling stuck, whatever it is, we're going to tap, and what's going to happen is the power of all of us tapping together is going to create this huge benefits that we're going to borrow from one another, and it's going to strengthen the power of the work that we're doing. And I'm going to be doing this for free. F-R-E-E, free, which is amazing because this kind of stuff you pay a lot of money for a lot of the time. So please utilize that. Hop into the group. You have to be a member of the group Remarkable Women to get this free gift, which will be very powerful. We will, I haven't decided on a date because I think the best way to do it is get you in the group. And then we're going to talk about setting a date that works for everybody, because the whole key is that everybody's got to show up, because it's not a replay thing. It's a live thing that we're going to do together, and we're going to benefit by being there together. So join in on that, and we will figure out a date that's going to work, but it's going to be in about a week's time. After next week, we'll start focusing on it the following week. Sound good? For now, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to pop on and say hello to my girls in the group, and then I am done for the day because I've got me my little one to start cooking dinner for, and life is here. What is the next step in your day? Yeah, she's smiling at me. All right. Thanks so much, guys. Love you all, and thank you so much for joining. Even if you were on the replay, I'm so appreciative that you're here and you're watching this, and I hope you have something that you've learned from this and you can take away. Do comment in the... Press play. She knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, comment if this was helpful to you. Share it. Please do share it, and join my group, ladies. I would really love to see you grow with everyone. It's just more powerful when we do it as a group too. So, and you're not alone. Collaborating with women that are also going through the same thing is pretty powerful. So in the meantime, bye for now. If you're in the Remarkable Women's group, I'm hopping in there now. See you soon.